Hey, buddy, Brick Baron's back, man. This is my Joker Stadium slash Arena mock. I've been working on this thing, gosh, since I'd say about late December. Not mid-December, I guess, till just this week. I finally finished it, or at least I would say it wasn't finished, but I would say it's finished enough. That this is my Joker Arena, I guess 1.0, if you will. There are 12 Joker Henchman minifigures that go with this mock. There are 6 soccer players. There's the Joker. There's Harley Quinn, obviously, and there's I think 5 zombie cheerleaders that all together kind of make up this whole set, if you will. Now, some specifics on the set. The set is just under 7,000 pieces, I'm sorry. And it sits on the equivalent of 9 32 stud by 32 stud base plates. So it takes up a lot of real estate in the city. Where I started with this project was really, if you've been watching my channel, you know I started building my Lego city back about 6 7 months ago. I sat down and really wanted to start doing it. And I knew the one thing I wanted in my city was a stadium. I absolutely had to have a stadium. If you guys know me, you know I've coached football, you know, and I'm just big into that. But unfortunately, Lego does not make any kind of football stadium sets or any kind of football real minifigure teams. So I had to kind of look what other solutions were out there, and Lego did do some soccer sets back in 1997 and 2002. So I kind of was at my starting point. I kind of got those sets off of eBay and Bricklink, and then the field, and I kind of put those sets together. But I really didn't like the look of them. It wasn't detailed enough for me. It didn't really speak to me. So what I wound up doing was, I knew at that point I was going to have a stadium mock. The question was, you know, what was it going to be? So I started with some basic ideas. I was going to do the old Philadelphia Spectrum. Then I was like, well, I couldn't get that to work. And then I'm thinking, well, how about a more modern looking stadium? Then I was thinking, oh, how about the Rose Bowl out in Pasadena? It looked great. But again, this size and of course space restrictions, and of course I'm not the most advanced builder. I was really having trouble kind of make those things kind of happen. So I was almost ready to give up on the whole thing. And then about November, early November, I was at work and someone was talking. I was thinking, well, I said to him, I said, hey, if the Joker really wants to really drive Batman crazy, he should go legit. The Joker should just go legit. And that's when it hit me. What if the Joker bought his own professional sports team? And that's where this thing kind of started. So I got in. That's where it started, and I started building or ordering parts. Did not have an actual blueprint laid out for this ahead of time, so it was going to be trial and error. And it took me probably about a good month and a half to just trial and error to finally get a design I liked, and a color scheme I liked, and a concept I liked. And I knew that it was going to have the entranceway. Originally, it was just his mouth, but as I sort of was building, I was like, well, you know, I like the whole head. That's kind of eventually what I got to. And of course, well, if you're going to have that, you have to have everything that a stadium would kind of need. So I had to have concession stands. I had to have, you know, some sort of gift shop or a place where you bought things. And of course, his goons would need a place to, like, a break room with their arsenal in there. And of course, the coach should have an office. There should be a locker room. There should be showers. There should be a visitor locker room. There should be an owner's box, a press box, a camera. There should be like a place where you can go, like a ritzier part of the stadium where you can go to kind of to eat and watch the game. So that's kind of where I was. Now this right here, what you're seeing is is the concession side, and you'll notice there's 2 little taps there. But actually, even though one costs more than the other, when you turn around and look at the back, you're buying the same thing. This is the gift shop, and behind that is their arsenal and their break room. Of course, the old Goodfellas, right? The Joker and his henchmen, they go out and they steal stuff, you know, out in Gotham and other places. They bring it back here, and they just sell it out of the stadium. So, you know, hey, it's all profit, right? So that's all that. And then kind of moving like past there and to the other side of it, I sort of took the top. It's all modular, by the way. That is the home locker room. That's the visitor locker room. Big difference, as you can see. And of course, that's the terrace area where the VIPs and the you know, would have lunch up there and watch the game. The visitors side, they don't get much, but as you see, the home side has locker rooms, the coach's office, and the shower, and all that good stuff. That's the referee there, and of course, that is the inside of the Joker's owner's box. He had, if you'll notice the desk and a lot of the furnishings came from the classic Batcave set, and I thought to myself, well, what a great idea for the Joker, right? If you're finally going to win and beat Batman, you don't kill Batman. You make him a prisoner and you bring him into your stadium. You have a cell for him. You stick him in there, and then you furnish your owner's box with like all of his stuff, so that it would just drive Batman like crazy and insane, right? That's where the idea kind of came from. Just another shot of the entrance side. So that's kind of where that all came from. And I thought, well, the visitors' locker room, well, you got to have an edge, right? So if you're the home team, the visitors' locker room just has a bench and they have a bucket to pee in. That's all they get. There's cameras over there where the coach, the Joker goon coach, can like listen in to the visitor locker room, and he can steal their signals, whatever he's going to do with it. And of course, it feeds right into his office. So there's a game getting ready to go there. The Joker, the actual players on the Joker team, the Goons. I really got the idea for them was like, I was thinking back to that old movie, The Warriors, back in 1979. I remember as like little kids seeing it, and there was this one gang called the Baseball Furies, right? They got this makeup, like clown makeup on, and then they got the baseball uniform, and they carry the bats, and they're wreaking havoc all over the city. And I'm thinking that would be a great idea for these Joker soccer players, right? So that's kind of where I got the idea for that. And of course, I found on Bricklink, I was lucky enough to find a seller who had 12 of the Joker henchman jackets with the Joker logo on the back, and of course the lime green and the purple. That worked out rather nicely. So as you can see, it's I put some thought into it. I mean, I wouldn't really say that this is obviously the most epic MOC out there. There certainly are a lot of other ones. I was really inspired by Jang's Shopping Mall, and by also building with Dad and Riley. They did the Janet's Jam Factory, and I think they did a really nice job with that. So I try to take that as a cue and see what I could do as far as a larger MOC goes. That's kind of what I came up with. But by no means do I consider this MOC anything really spectacular. It was just the best that I could do, given today and what I had to work with. But it was a lot of fun, and I was thankful for the opportunity to finally get to it and finally finish it. As far as the rest of the build goes, my advice, I will give this advice to people. If you are starting a big MOC, you really take this advice from me. You want to start with a plan. You want to go get some grid paper or go get Lego Designer and try to lay it out before you start to build it, because I didn't lay this out. I simply started buying parts and trying to put them together and see what I could come up with. And it was a lot of trial and error. And at one point I almost gave up, thinking I just can't make this work. But persistence, you just stick with it, and eventually, you eventually get there. And that's kind of what happened for me. Once I had this stadium, though, as I said in my last city update, it was going to be, from here on out, it's going to be Villainville. Like, all of the buildings are eventually going to be villain-esque buildings. So I felt the stadium was the starting point. This is finally done. I can work on my next MOC, which I've already started. I'm already halfway done on it. Much smaller MOC, by the way. So all the MOCs from here on out and the city will just be geared towards the villains. And I'm just kind of having fun with it. I mean, I want to do something different. I didn't want to do a lot of the stuff that people are doing. Just how I felt. And it's the best I could do. Now, the scoreboard, actually, I had to order a lot of those parts from Germany. And on the scoreboard, if you look closer, you're going to see I did rip off the tops from some of those old soccer sets that I had. And I kind of used them up there on the scoreboard to kind of pay a little bit of a homage to the classic soccer sets of 1997 and 2002. The goalposts were made, they were actually they were not as easy to build as they might look on the screen. That was a little tinkering with to get a design that I liked and I thought would work. Now, yes, I know my friends from across the pond have pointed out, and you're correct, I don't have enough soccer players on the team. I believe it is 10 or 11 players out in the field, plus a goalie for each team. As you can see, I only have 5 Joker Goons, and I have the goalie. So my soccer team is sort of modeled after, it's a hybrid between soccer and I guess what like hockey is, because that's what I know. So that's kind of how I set it up, so that you can go behind the net, with the ball and kind of score. The rules really are, it's still soccer rules. You can't use your hands to touch the ball, but basically anything else, you can check the guy, you can knock him into the boards. There's a penalty box there. I mean, basically it's almost anything that you can do or think of. You just can't use your hands to actually touch the ball. So that's kind of where I was thinking with this. So yeah, man, that's pretty much it. As I'm wrapping this and sort of winding this thing down, I want to thank a lot of supporters out there who've been very supportive of my other mocks. And I apologize, it's been a while since I put one up. It's been almost 2.5 months. But you can see what I was working on. This thing was definitely definitely a big project. So guys, thanks for hanging out on my channel. More mocks to come, I promise. And as always, if you like, subscribe, and I appreciate the support, and I will talk to you later.